Okay, let's start out a little multimedia, guys. It's us. Work it. So, today's theme is work. You have to stare at our faces for a little bit and listen to a little music. So yes, we decided to start and finish with a little interaction by you guys. Who works 9 to 5 here? Exactly. No, you're not supposed to raise your hands, because if you did, you wouldn't be here, because this finishes at 9, and all your bosses are going to be real mad. Or maybe you're your own boss, and you tell yourself that you only work 9 to 5, and in that case, power to you. Good on you. Shannon and I, as you know, we own 2 businesses, and 9 to 5 does not exist, unless you're talking like 9 a.m. to 5 a.m. the next day. That exists for us. There's our faces again. So you're pretty lucky if you have a weekend. Anyone? Weekend? Do people have weekends? Yeah! Woo! Good for you guys. When you own a business, you don't really have a weekend, but that's great because you love it and you work for more work. And there we go. This is the last one, guys. So, hard for the money. This is the trickiest one of all, and we're not going to really go into it, but when you own your own business again, the old money situation just goes back into the business. And, you know, we're not going to get political, but it is really hard when people say, God, isn't it so great to own your own business and be your own boss? And you're like, really, I kind of work for the Australian government because they kind of take all my money. But, you know, there you go. So that's sort of our little conclusive wake up to the old work theme, where you're still not at work. So that's good. And we'll try and get you to work, but we're going to talk about it for a little bit. All right, so how we do what we do. Because you guys are all here to learn about this. It's a bit tough actually, because you guys all probably know quite a lot about work, and we're quite flattered to have you guys listen to us talk about work. So we believe in 2 things. Take it away, Shan.
All right, so we have pretty much 2 mottos. We both stick to it as much as possible. Taking care of business is this one. And positive mental attitude is this one. And, you know, we do what we can. She's got them tattooed on her somewhere as well.
You'll see them later.
The reminders. For me, I guess, you know, on the hands is good because that's what I use the most. And we stick to it as much as possible, you know, and whenever things happen or shit's getting a bit hard, then just reminding ourselves that as long as we stick with these 2 things, everything's going to work out fine, and it has done so far. You know, just having a positive attitude about everything has been good for us.
That's what we stick by, live by. You'll see it throughout our businesses and throughout time as we open more businesses, which is our greatest goal. So a little more about us. That's us when we were little. So as you may or may not know, I did not go on to become a karate master. The belt only changed one color, which was yellow, but that's okay because I karate'd a lot of other things. So for me, I'll just give you a little bit of history because I know this isn't primarily about us and more about the theme of work, but I grew up with really amazing, very hardworking parents. My grandfather started a business in 1956 with my grandmother. There's a whole amazing history of how I got my last name, which is Wise, but it was originally Wishnoff. They literally opened a hardware store called Wise Buys and changed their last name so they could sell more tools. How Jewish is that? Well, I'll tell you something. My grandma told me two things. She said, honey, you gotta do two things in life. You gotta work hard and you gotta marry a Jew. Well, I didn't do one of those things, so I got one of those things right. But I was really lucky. I had two really amazing, really hardworking parents. My parents still to this day, they're actually nearly 70, which is a crazy thing to say out loud. Nearly 70, still work. My dad's 7 days a week, my mom's 6. She was one of the first female engineers at Boeing. That's pretty cool. But I think having them as a role model is great. I had my first job when I was 10, which in America you can do, not legally, but I worked really hard and I was always in hospitality. And then when it was legal to work, I always had a minimum of like roughly 3 jobs. And I've had a crazy, one of those like roller coasters work histories, and I've done a lot of different things and it's been a lot of fun, but nothing more rewarding than what we do now. So, but we'll talk about that later. So Shannon, talk about yourself for a minute.
So for me, I've always been in hospitality and cooking. Especially, I started off my apprenticeship when I was in high school, so I would go to school in the day, do my apprenticeship at night time. Mum would pick me up after work at the Sofitel in the city, and then I'd go home for a bit and then go back to high school the next day in the morning and repeat. And then decided that apprenticeships were terrible and cooking classic food was horrible and it was just dated, so I decided to skip that. I married a professional skateboarder and life went off track for a little while. Food took a back seat for a bit, and then obviously that didn't work out and got back into food and started cooking vegan food, and that was really, it started taking off at the East Brunswick Club. And then when I realized that there was such a massive demand for vegan food, I wasn't vegan, I'm still not vegan today, which I'm not sure if all of you know, but it was new for me, and I think learning how to make that sort of food was the challenge that I was always trying to find when I started my apprenticeship, because you know there's not a school to teach you how to make beef from gluten. So yeah, it was then I became really interested because I know how to cook a steak and make it taste good, but I don't know how to make beef from gluten flour. So all of a sudden it was like something new for me. So I worked really hard in getting that side of my food right, and that led to the gasometer, which led to South, which is where I met Mo at the People's Market, then Sweetwater, and then what we have today.
Yeah, so I think in some, we basically had to challenge what normal sort of mainstream defines of work are. You know, you go to cooking school and they're not challenging you enough, and you're not working hard, like you're not working to a degree where it's exciting or inspiring. And same thing for me, you know, you work 3 jobs and you're not inspired by any of them. So you have to find that thing that makes you want to work harder. So the bottom line is we work hard. That's actually Shannon's phone. And we don't believe work is a dirty word. I always think it's really funny, this like memes and things coming up about Beyonce's just got as much hours in the day as you do. And it's like, right, but she does have like a whole team of personal assistants and like other things. But the point of the story is work isn't a dirty word because you're working towards accomplishment and goal achieving and opportunities and other things like that. So how it all began for us, Shannon mentioned it, People's Market, who came? Was anyone there? It was so much fun. When it was good, it was so much fun. So summer of 2012, did you like that? That was a little segue there. When it was good. When it was good, it was really fun. So for those of you who don't know, it was an outdoor venue. It was probably the largest scale production that I've ever taken on because it was literally everything. It was art, it was music, it was a bar, it was food, it was retail, it was an outdoor lounge space. The whole line was where everything goes, which is really great. So it's funny because I put an arrow there, like I'm somewhere in there, but I'm actually sitting right there, which is really funny. and I didn't realize that until after, of course, I sent and I'm like, I'm not gonna tell them to take it down like for one slide. So that's me. So that was my role. I was basically the organizer of the Collingwood People's Market, and I knew, being vegan myself, that I had to have a vegan food vendor. I was new to the city. I'd only just moved to Melbourne 3 weeks prior, and I was just using all my resources. I was a real, like, sort of, I hate the expression, fake it till you make it, but I just pretended like I knew all these people, and obviously really heavily relied on my partner, who is Australian, and I just made it up. But I approached a guy, and he said, "Shannon's your gal." That's actually Shannon, right there. It's not just a fake Shannon, that's Shannon. And Shannon's your gal, she knows food, and you guys should just do something together. And so that was it. It was, man, it was so good. The main thing for us meeting was basically us, like, noticing that for us, we were always the first ones there. And we were always the last to leave. So basically, we had two things in common. That's me. That's my leg, and that's my hand. So we had two things in common. We both were really, really positive. We were both really, really excited about what, you know, was the potential between us. And we obviously believed in taking care of business because we worked really, really hard. So we had to do something about that. And we spent a year, literally, from when People's Market, or even before then, and that's Shannon's kitchen at her old house. And every week we would meet together to plan this hypothetical restaurant. And I mean, to the point of, like, coming up with menu items and talking about all this, like, really exciting stuff, but, like, while working really hard at day jobs. Like, sometimes this wouldn't happen until 10 o'clock at night. But we just knew that there was something there, and we had to do something about this. Like, you've got this amazing talent and all these like, this crazy following of people, and how great. We really do have to do something about this. So we made a list of all the things that you have to do. Now, I spared you about 10 other slides of things that you have to do before you open a restaurant. I know that's not the talk, like how to open a restaurant 101. And if we were to give that talk, we would have no idea. Yeah. We just made all this up. I think that should be made really clear. We don't have experience in doing this at all. This is our first time doing this. Between us, we have like 30 years in hospitality, but really, like, you know, if you add about 10 more pages of things, then you still, like, there's still so many things that we're learning every day.
What we did know more was what not to do.
Yeah.
You know, when you work for those shitty bosses and they do things and you're like, when it's my turn, I'm not going to do this shit. I'm going to pay my staff on time. I'm not going to make them beg for their wage. I'm not going to do all these things. You know, I'm not going to make them have to work with shitty produce and shitty products, and I'm going to make sure that we're not going to open the doors of the restaurant until we have the right napkins and the chairs are finished and everything is perfect. Because, you know, so many places they would open before they were ready just to get the doors open, and those things that they always were like, we'll get to it, we'll just get the doors open. They never got to it, and so it was always just, it wasn't quite good enough. And we both were like, if it means that we can't open for an extra 2 weeks, we're not going to open for an extra 2 weeks, because we need to make sure it's perfect. It's exactly how we want it. If we need to save some more money, we'll save some more money first so we can get the right plates that we want. Yeah. So I think that's what we learned.
Yeah, that was the main driving force into doing anything that we do. So it all comes down to one thing and one thing only. And what do you think that is? Work! Lots of work! So work, and lots of work. And I think the main thing too is that it's never just the first idea that you come up with. And like Shannon said, you have to work at something to make sure that it's exactly as you want it. And I say further down the line, but you just don't sacrifice your vision. Like, what's the point of doing anything if you've set out to do something and you're like, okay, we'll just cut out like 3 corners. It's like, what about those 3 corners? They were really important to the building and the space, you know? So I'll let Shannon take it away on the discovery of this, because I was literally at a desk job as a TV producer at Channel 7. I produced the $1 Million Minute. It's so silly, but that's such a long time ago. But I literally got a call from Shannon, and that's how it all began. Yeah,
so I've been looking for, I'm really into looking up real estate, even when I'm not looking for anything like a rental property online. I don't know, it's one of those weird things that I do when I'm on the couch at night. And I stopped looking for a while for our restaurant because nothing was coming up. And then one morning I woke up and just had this like urge to look. And I got on the computer, and the first thing that came up was this building, which I actually used to work in about 10 years ago when it was De Los Santos. and they hired me to come and help them write a Spanish menu because they didn't have a Spaniard in the restaurant. And maybe, I don't know, to help them out, the surname maybe gave them a bit more pledge, I don't know.
Which is Martinez, by the way. A lot of people like...
Not Martinez, which apparently is how you pronounce it.
Yeah, that's a good segue there.
And I loved the building from the very start when I used to work there. It's so awesome, and instantly knew that this had to be our spot. So called Mo up. She hid under the desk so no one knew she was on the phone.
Yeah, Shannon. Yeah, no, just in the middle of a meeting with the, Grant Denya, like, yeah, he still can't pronounce the word medicine, right? Okay, yep. And I literally faked a sick day. Like, I'm suddenly so sick. Don't tell.
Which is not like you at all.
No, exactly. Yeah, they would know straight away because I never call sick.
And then we checked it out, and then did we apply the same day, pretty much?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We did. Yeah.
And we both still had full-time jobs. I was running the kitchen at Sweetwater. This one was producing TV shows, and we were just like, fuck it, let's just do it. Because you get really comfortable working a job. You're getting a good wage, it's secure, it's very easy to be like...
Do you get holiday pay?
All this stuff, and so it's easy to be like, no, it's cool, I'll look next month for something, or I'll start thinking about doing my thing next month, because right now it's all good. I'm saving.
We'll still get together and have fun, and I'm going to eat a lot of food, but, but
we decided, let's just do it now, let's put it all out on the line, let's quit these great jobs that we've got, and finally do it, which was scary. And awesome at the same time. Yeah.
But it's really just making that vision finally become a reality. So, I mean, it was a massive undertaking. The building was from 1886. It was the first pub on the street, so it required quite a lot of work. Filthy work. Long hours, and filthy, like, disgusting, and just transforming a space is massive. I don't know if anyone here has done that. It was just such a huge undertaking. But the main thing really was like really just keeping to the vision, not sacrificing things, spending all the money possible to make all these things.
This is the same kitchen that when I used to work there 10 years ago. That's the same stove. When I was there, and that means it was probably there 20 years before I got there too, which we ran.
I know.
For the first year.
I'm like sad. I'm actually sad looking at it because it only just kicked the can.
And that oven didn't work at all. So we were running the whole restaurant on one oven.
Yeah.
And that stove. So it's pretty good,
And I think the main thing too is doing it all ourselves, because literally you can work with high-paid builders and things like that, and all these great technical people, and sorry if some of you are those people, and we'd love to work with you one day, but no, not really, because all of it was all about doing it ourselves and making sure that our vision was like what came to reality. So relying on friends, relying on all of our resources, our finances, our blood and sweat and all that. You're tasting all of that when you're in there. It's part of the magic, but it's still vegan, don't worry. So when ideas become reality and you've sacrificed nothing to make your vision happen, and all our time and everyone's time around us, then you know that you're onto something good. And all that work was worth it. So you literally just, that's what you do. You just make it happen. So this is one of our sort of anecdotes to the whole work thing. One of our making a vision a reality was, we literally, I don't know if anyone's been in the restaurant, you'll see it here, but there's a neon sign at the back that's quickly become one of our sort of logos and something that people recognize us by. But Shannon and I said, like, we love pineapples. Now this is like, so this is December 2013.
This is a pretty cool pineapple day.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to say, like, I mean, look, like we opened in March and then pineapples got really cool in April. Like April they hit, so we're really glad. But we're like, oh, let's have a neon sign. That'd be really fun. PMA, go PMA. We're all about positivity. And my partner said, like, 1 second, and he like did that little kid, like, don't cheat on my test thing. And he like hid behind his arm and he's like, has anyone ever done this before? So this is the very first drawing of the Eat Vegan neon sign. And we were like, shit, I don't think so. So let's make it into a neon and make it a reality. And it's really cool to make something into a reality and then progress it and send these things literally to Japan and the US and all over the world. And it's shocking. So basically, the whole point is you're working to achieve those personal goals, and you just hope that everyone else is going to come along for the ride. It's not about going off the popular thought or what everyone else is doing. It's like, if you believe in that one idea, like, you just have to ride it and you have to keep going, hope that everyone else is coming along the way. And when you've done all that initial stuff and you've made some amazing food happen, these are just a couple of samplings of the food. And you've had a lot of those. And you've made an opening happen. And you've made parties happen. It's Halloween for you Australians out there. It's a really fun time of year when you dress up. And you make deep fried rats happen. And there's people coming in, and there's butts in your seats. Well, that's kind of ironic, but yeah. And the people love you, right? You've worked really hard, and the people love you. And you win awards, and that's crazy. Thanks. Well, not everyone loves you. Not everyone loves you. Actually, this is my show and tell part of the day. I know we are like, this is my show and tell part of the day. This is my actual gym bag, guys. Like, I'll give you a little, like, there's actual gym clothes in there. Because, you know, part of work is working out. Never read the comments. If that's my best advice I can give anybody, here, I'll hold it up for that lady in the back. There you go. Never read the comments. Best advice I can give anyone who works or does it for themselves. They're all out to get you. Everybody's out to get you. So just don't read the comments. You'll feel a lot better going to bed not reading the comments. When people come to you and they give you constructive criticism or their opinion on things in person, take it all on board. That's called giving good customer service and listening to what your customers want. Leave all that other shit for the internet. Don't read it. Like, that is, they publicly, I don't know what else they have to do with their time if they're spending all their time not working. Those are the people not at this event right now. They're not here now. So that's my little segment into that. But after all that, yeah, not all the people like you. After all that, after everything, you've done it, you've put everything into it, you've worked really hard, what do you do after that? Sober. You do it all over again! Woo! You kill yourself all over again to make something else happen. And it's not just because you want to get, like, even more followers on Instagram or you want more people to like you or anything. It's because you really love it and you want to see the vision grow. And for us, it was a necessity. We had definitely outgrown the restaurant by thousands-fold, but like...
We started getting 2 days off.
Yeah, that was too much. And we were still working. We were still working.
Yeah, all of a sudden, it went from 100, I think we were doing like 112 hours a week at the restaurant when it opened for like 6 months, I think the first 6 months. And then all of a sudden we were only doing 80 hours a week. And we were like, fuck, this is weird. This
yeah, what? Off. Huh? And we were still getting together and hypothetically planning other restaurants and other things. So we're like, okay, now it's time. Now it's time to really do something.
Like, let's do something else.
And I don't know if any of you have tasted Shannon's Amazing Creations, but she's restricted to menus. We had 12 menus in our first year of being a business, and we're like, that has got to stop. One, my programming of the computer and printing off menus and all the trees that we were killing, even though it was recycled paper, don't worry. I was like, we've got to stop. We've got to do something where you can have a venue where you can create all the time. Doesn't matter. There's not a menu. You're not restricted to things. So that's how the deli came to be. So it was really this, and it's 30 seconds away, so you could not have a more easy commute. We got really lucky. But it was amazing. And again, drawing on all of our resources and making sure that we just didn't sacrifice anything. It was it was literally, I don't know if you guys saw, it was literally an office with cubicles. It was a design studio. Oh, sorry, designers. And we just demolished it, and it was just one room with 4 walls. And we were just like, well, obviously 3/4 of that is going to be Shannon's dream kitchen. Yeah. So, and it is, so that's great. But it was just never about having one space either, I should say. Like, for us, it was never about having one restaurant. It was always about growing, and it still is. So there's going to be a lot. I mean, hopefully we'll come back and we'll have like all these other things to talk about. But the main thing is all about just keeping on going and working really, really hard. And if you have that idea and having fun, like, that's one of our other mottos, no bad days. I mean, I know it's really simple and everyone has it, but like, just don't have a bad day. Like, that's all in you, that's in your court. Council's called you and you have to like change your door. Don't have a bad day. Yeah, we had that happen, that was fun. So, you know, in reality, what do we really think about work? You know, it's achievement. It's like, there's actually nothing like the achievement that you feel through hard work. I don't know if anyone else here has experienced that, but like if you put a lot into it and you stand back and you're like, whew, there's people actually eating that food, that's pretty exciting. It doesn't compare to anything. And so like for us, it's just laughing and just being positive, and that's it. That's how we actually feel about work. That was for a photo shoot, obviously, but that's us every day. Like literally every day, just laughing and having fun. It gets everything done better, like quicker, faster, more efficiently, more invested.
Your staff are better for it? Staff
are better for it. I mean, I think one thing that I do want to say, clicking over to this next slide, we're laughing, but not as much in this photo. But there's a reason why it works, and I think if there's anything that, I mean, I feel really lucky, and I think that Shannon feels the same way, but that we have each other, and that, you know, we've recognized in each other that really strong work ethic, but that more so that we're really present in our businesses. We're both there all the time. If you don't see us, we're there. We're in the back somewhere. Both restaurant and, I mean, it's gonna be really hard when we open other things, because then we're gonna have to get like Michael Keaton multiplicity kind of vibe, but it's gonna happen. But that's the main thing, you know, being there with our staff and communicating that message all the time, no bad days, positivity, taking care of business, all that stuff, like, but just being really present. But
not in an annoying way.
Yeah, not in an annoying way. So, wow, in conclusion, we've got some advice. Do stuff. Everybody should do stuff, which I assume that everyone here does. But do more of what makes you happy. I think that's the main thing. You know, like, we're all positive and happy, and we talked about like giving all our money to the Australian government, but obviously we love what we do, and we love, you know, every single day, even if it means not having water and coming up with solutions for that, and you know, all that, and the cellar and its constant issues. But like, do more of what makes you happy. Like, find that silver lining in there. Be authentic. Don't follow that popular, like everyone else is doing it. Like, there's a lot of people out there doing what we're doing. We're definitely not the first or only ones doing restaurants, vegan restaurants, all that stuff, but follow that really deep, like, gut feeling. Be authentic. Stick with your vision. I keep saying that a lot. I worked in large-scale production with a really amazing fashion creative, and he was that, like, I want glitter everywhere. I want lightning bolts. And he always had the best shows, because he always made glitter and lightning bolts happen. So use all the hours in the day. Every hour is an hour that's worth working, and Shannon has recently helped me out. That gym bag's there because you're investing those hours into yourself, which then you can put back into the business. Sleeping's great, drinking water's great, but use all the hours in the day and work hard. So if you put it in, it all has to come back to you. That's the thing. If you work really, really hard, it's so classic. Like, when we were asked to do this talk, we're like, everyone knows this. You gotta work hard. But really, like, that's the best advice. That's how all of this happened. That's how all of this got done. And so basically, we're here. We hope you see a lot more of us. There's a lot more work that we have ahead of us. And it's not just gonna stop here. So this is us just saying thank you, and don't you have to get to work. Thanks, guys.
We have a few minutes for questions if anyone wants to have one. Does anyone have any questions? Put your hands up. There's always someone. Yes? Anyone? Yes?
What was the reaction when you sort of first opened the doors and you were obviously presenting a vegan offering? What was the reaction, initial reaction?
Our main thing was actually not the vegan offering. So that was, I think, one of the coolest things was people understood that. Like 80% of our customers aren't vegan, which is great, and they're just there for the good food. That was always that's where Smith and Daughters came about. We don't want it to be Smith and Vegan or Vegan and Daughters, and our big thing is that Shannon's just really talented at making food. And answering the question, the reaction from vegans was like, thank God we can have a place where we can have a really nice drink and a really good meal and not feel like there's, you know, bloody images of animals and propaganda everywhere. And I'm not talking badly.
It was scary.
It was scary.
You know, like a few weeks leading up to when we opened, and the internet was going crazy about the opening, and I was just like, shit.
Yeah, and we were, I mean, the thing is, we were in The Age and the Herald Sun and all of these major publications, and we hadn't even opened our doors yet. So that was really scary. And what was funny was they all took the vegan message and put it into their headlines. Va va vegan. That was one of our things, and we're like, no, yes, it's vegan, and we believe in that stuff, but it's more just about this restaurant and about, you know, two gals trying to make it happen and work really hard, you know, like. That was the main thing. So yeah, we were definitely both shitting ourselves. And like all the calls that when we actually hooked up the phone line and all the calls that we got, can I make a booking? We're like, booking system. Should have probably got that. Damn, okay, all right.
Well, you had to, so we were going to hire someone else to take phone calls because it got to a point where you were in at 9 and then just before service you would have to get off the phone.
Yeah.
To change.
It was crazy.
So
and put my makeup on and like, yeah, it was crazy. That was the first couple months, and actually I should have saved them really, but all of the booking sheets were these amazing hand-drawn layouts of the room and people's names and phone numbers. I'm like, this is not sustainable. This is not gonna work. But yeah, the reception was amazing. I still feel humbled by it. I think, seriously, when I see that booking sheet print out and it still says 187 covers, I'm like, okay. And it's like, you know, nearly 2 years. It's so amazing.
And we opened the deli as well because we thought, you know, our cool room in the restaurant is, I don't even know, it is like a walk-in wardrobe, like half a walk-in wardrobe. It is tiny.
You have to walk in sideways?
In that way, you've got to like, in that way and walk in. And with the volume of food we go through, it's just insane. So we opened the deli thinking, all right, sweet, we've got this massive space, a massive cool room. I'll make a lot of the food for the restaurant there, and then we'll cart it up to, food for the restaurant at the deli, cart it up to the restaurant just before service.
Bought a fancy cart, everything.
Yeah, and then the deli got busier than the restaurant, so I couldn't do that anymore, and so then instantly we were like, shit, we've done it again, and now we have to get another kitchen for the restaurant and the deli. 10 times as big.
It's gonna happen.
We haven't fixed that solution yet. So it's been an amazing response.
Yeah.
Bigger than I could imagine. Every day I put the food out and I'm like, God, it's so crazy. Like.
And it goes.
So stoked. Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah, amazing. That's authentic. That's genuine surprise.
We have time for one last question. Yes, over there.
What's the ongoing role of social media for your business now?
What's the ongoing role of social media?
For your business now, like in day-to-day?
Wow. Well, that's pretty amazing because, so we started the this is just an anecdote, started the Smith & Daughters Instagram about a month before, or a couple months before we opened, and we just hit 10,000 followers, which is like, that's a crazy feeling. That is a crazy feeling. And the deli is nearly up to that. And the deli's only been open for 6 months on the 16th of December, which is great. But how crazy. The ongoing role for us for social media is definitely way more powerful with the deli because you can communicate what's in the cases every day and get everyone excited. The only issue with that is when you post the Rocky Road donuts, everyone coming in gets really upset because you've already sold out of them. That's the only issue with social media. It is the most powerful tool, I'd say, like way more powerful. I mean, The Age writes an article and that's really great and you get a lot more people coming in, but nothing compares to posting like, here's a turkey feast for Christmas and they're selling out and then you've literally sold 50 turkeys in 10 minutes. Like, what the hell?
It was crazy.
What the hell?
Christmas feast thing, you know, like a turkey and stuffing and a plum pudding, and we're going to send it out to people. and
Shannon got nervous. She's like, how many have we sold? Okay, we've sold about 70.
it was like 4 days, and we're already up to nearly 60. And I said to Mum, we're going to put a cap on this because my other girl's going away for Christmas, so it's just going to be me in there. I'm like, maybe we should make it 70? I don't know, 70 turkeys? I think I can manage 70 turkeys in like 2 days on top of the deli and the restaurant. You know, and then she was like, all right, cool, I'll put it on Instagram or Facebook.
Nearly sold out.
Yeah, and so she's like, all right, this is the last call, we're nearly done. And then
it was insane.
The phone went ballistic and the big cartel crashed. And it was like,
yeah, it was crazy. Yeah.
We did that. So, you know, if it wasn't for social media, like that, none of that would happen. So it's insane that impact it has.
The interaction with the customers, we had a really cool, we had a really cool, when we were changing the menu, we decided we've had the same menu for the longest we've ever had a menu, and we need to move off some things. It's summer, we need summery food. Let's engage our customers. And we actually made like a mini battle between the tuna and green pea croquette and the paella fritter, and they were like battling it out in a boxing ring. And like, you know, we had the people weigh in for both of the items, like who's gonna win? I don't know. And then croquette obviously won. Not for us, because we love the paella fritters, but anyway. But engaging our customers that was one of the most important things that I think we've done or used the social media outlets for, is letting them know that we're listening. We're actually listening. We're very present in the business. So if we're there, but like you don't want to talk to us, like we're actually there online as well. And
we did it for the deli. We asked everyone what
totally.
Like, because I'm making people whatever they want to eat. Like if I'm out the front and I see some customers, I'm like, what's your favorite thing to eat? And they'll tell me. I might come back tomorrow. I'll make it for you. Because that's why I cook. You know, and that's why I make vegan food, especially. And people ask me why you make vegan food. You're not even vegan. And some people get really shitty with me about it, actually. One customer was like, I don't trust anything you do. Like I've got weird meat pellets in my pocket. I'm like, that's strange. But I go out there and I asked them, we did that on Instagram, and we said, list everything you want us to make. And I even to a point where I made tuna casserole, which I think is disgusting. But people really wanted it, and it came up, and you know, tuna casserole. I haven't even eaten that. I don't know what it is. So I had to talk to my fiance, who's, you know, quite Aussie, and he said, yeah, I know how to make tuna casserole. So he got his mum's recipe, and we made it vegan, and that's how we like to run our business. Like, tell me what you want, and we'll make it for you, because we're here for you guys, not the other way around.
It's a great note to end on. Another hand for Shannon and Mo.